I'm going to share a personal situation, it's career, it's decisions I make that will make me seem crazy, and there's a good chance I am. The things I do go against, I think, the standards of many people. I'd say 99% of people would do the opposite to what I do, and it doesn't mean I'm right. It's just the way I'm programmed. I can't be any other way. So, like, I'm someone who I think I'm too intelligent for my own good. I overthink. That means I overanalyze. I overthink too much. But it also means I can see patterns of events. I can see how things will play out way before they do. Um, and I consider, like I say, so I consider everything. So, for instance, this position come up, and it would change my money financially. I'd be in a good position where I'm not worrying now, and that's what I wanted. That's what I kept saying. I'm saying out loud to the universe, like, I just want money now. So, an opportunities come, and you can have money. Is that enough for you? And it's like, no, no, no. I don't just want money. And that's what it's showing me. Like, I don't want just money. So, interview come. I just applied for a job last Friday. Had the interview that day, and they got back to me on Thursday. You made the top three. Have a visit at the premises, have a look around, and then they offered me the role because it was all quick, and you just want money. You just agree to things. Now, I'm someone who has a lot of integrity, so I think it's important to be honourable. If you say you can do something, you follow it through. But there's another side that says it's, if you have the freedom to make your own decisions, and even if it's, sometimes it's going to be you have to go back on what you said. If it means that, then that's a consequence, isn't it? Because the way I see it is, if you're going to be looking to leave, like in 3 months, 6 months, whatever, then what's the point? What difference does it make? Just deal with it now. So I've been torn all weekend, and it's really pulled at me because I'm like pulling to so many different directions, trying to make sense. Because I applied for other roles as well, so it comes into different sequences. These roles are forklift, like warehouse roles. I've outgrown them, so there's a part of me that just thinks I only really want something temporary now. That's not my future. My future is my books and the things I create. I haven't seen the success from them, but I have no doubt of my ability to see it through and have a career in this direction. But I've got no problem working hard, But how much of my time do I want to give to it? And what are the circumstances? So, regarding warehouse work, I like to just know what I'm doing. It's straightforward. Just let me get on with the job. I don't want it overcomplicated, unnecessary craziness. So this role, upon the first interview, for instance, you didn't really see the premises too much. I just assumed it was all warehouse, really. And upon getting in there, of course, you're only going to be hiring one person, so you kind of you're glossing over things. And it's only when I got home I'm sort of analysing and picturing everything as it unfolds. And the warehouse side was just tiny, like a very tiny section of the business. The rest was production for beauty products. And that literally, it was actually so many sort of it went to different rooms, it was quite crazy. But the warehouse side was really, really minuscule. So there's no room to sort of breathe, if you like. There's no room for anything. And they're trying to compact everything in. They're talking about another premises next door, but the other side of the building, so you have to constantly travel around the side. It's just an absolute mess. It's not fit, but effectively, the premises needs to be bigger enough to make it work. And it's like, do I really want to work in a mess like that? I've already been somewhere like that, and it got on my nerves, So there is that side of things. I'm thinking this isn't really. I think personally, it's gonna annoy me quite quickly. Plus, you think who you're working with. It's a very small team, but they're already moaning about it already before you even started, and you're thinking, I see problems too a lot of the time, and it's like, if people are bickering already about the place not being fit for purpose, it's like, I just want a job I can go and get paid and come home now. That's really what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for complicated anymore. I don't need that in my life. I just want to be able to go work, get paid, and go home. And now you can obviously do that anywhere you go, but this is crazy. So anyway, the money's okay. It's £29,000 a year. It works about £2,000 take home. That's good for me. I need that. That's what I need. I said I'm on about 1,800. Since then, I've budgeted and I've realised my bills extend to about 1,500. So 2,000 doesn't leave a lot of leeway. They're adamant there's no overtime with this role. And I'm not someone that particularly wants overtime, but I think it's important to have the option. So if your bills are mounting 1 month, or you just want something, maybe you want to save for a holiday, you can just put a few extra hours in. I think that's always useful. I think a job to be absolutely outright, there's no overtime, makes you wonder, is it worth it? Because I can go somewhere that maybe would allow that. And again, I've applied for some roles that actually do have that available. So, like I say, the main point for me is the working conditions itself. You know, you even had to wear a hairnet, and because I like have stubble sometimes, I had to have one. You have to have one over your mouth as well, like a hairnet over your face. It's like, oh my god, that's just another part. There's so many nuances to it. Unless you was literally in warehousing and you saw it, wouldn't really notice. Now, of course, I could just get on with it and just get on. But like I said, I've applied for other roles, and that's where it's getting a bit complicated. I don't want to say the names of the companies, but there's like one's a really big company. They deal with engineering, and they've got a lot of mechanical roles, so different forklifts and all other lifting aids and all sorts of things. So even though I was offered this role, I've also got an assessment, a 3-hour forklift assessment, which isn't something you'd normally have with a company where they just test you out, and then I mean, just if you do well, then you get potentially a position. Now that one's shift work, and it's a strange one. It's 2 options. So on the one hand, you could literally end up doing, if you did this other shift, you can do, I think it's like 10 or 12-hour shifts. I can't remember exactly what it is. I think it's 10. And it's Monday to, so for instance, if you did a late shift, it'd be Monday to Thursday, but you get Friday, Saturday, or Sunday off. And I'm like, that's good, isn't it? Like, I'd rather, if you're going to go work, you just want to go work, get money, and have as much time off as you can. That's good. Just throw yourself into 4 days, but it's exhausting 4 days. If it's the early shift, you finish at lunchtime on a Friday, and I think that's nice too. Yeah, you got a long weekend. I like that. This other job, the one that I potentially agreed to do, it was like early morning all the way till, it's a long shift. So there wasn't really much gains in that sense, apart from the wages. But the wages seem similar across the board, to be totally honest. So do I want to do shift work somewhere else? And you can literally have your Fridays free, and at least half the Friday on one shift, the full Friday the other one. But all the jobs include the weekend off. There's another one a little bit further away, so it costs more in fuel. And that's just like nights, really. I'm not sure if I'm really that interested in it. But what I'm seeing is I've got options. And the one thing is I'm noticing, if you work all day, for instance, most people do, but it doesn't give you room to look for something else. So if you're not happy somewhere, or you want to expand, you want to do something else, it's really hard if you work a stringent job Monday to Friday, and it's during normal working hours for traditional jobs. It's going to be hard to find a time where you can actually go for an interview somewhere else and expand your horizons. Whereas if you work maybe a late rotating shifts, there's always wiggle room on the late shift. You've got all that day. And then the other side of that, of course, is with the summer coming, if you work a later shift, you can actually enjoy the day. You can actually enjoy outdoors. You can actually enjoy the weather, So there's so many things pulling at me. Now, you could argue, just get on with it and just take the job you've agreed. You'll get £2,000 each month. It's simple. If it's a mess, let it be a mess. But my mind can't work like that. I can't. If something bothers me, it will sear into my soul. It really does. So I'll actually get to the point where it drives me mad, and I'll be really bored. And what it is, I start feeling trapped like a prisoner. In all honesty, I don't really want to work for people. In the long term, I don't see myself working for people. I'm my own. I'm like a lone wolf. I'm all right on my own, but we all have needs and ways to pay the bills. And like I said, I've got no problem. If the job's simple, like you give me a forklift, you give me rules, you give me a target, I'll just get on with it. I can just get on with it. Just let me get on with it. If it's going to be complicated, which this other role is complicated, it's a mess. They've even said about the inventory system is not even fit for purpose. So it's just a whole process here, and it's like, I don't really want to walk into that, to be totally honest. I want the money. I don't want the hassle. And I'm not committed to it, in all honesty. I don't feel committed to it because I don't see myself in a warehouse for long term. So I don't even care for jobs agency right now, I honestly couldn't care less. I just really want to be able to go work, make money, and not overburden myself with things. So anyway, time's ticking, and that's where the pressure's getting from me, because, you can have all these thoughts. And then when the time comes, it doesn't matter what you've been thinking. You can still just, if you've processed it, made a decision, you can then just go. So I could wake up in the morning and just go to this job that I'm having serious doubts about. And it's like, it doesn't matter what I was thinking before, was it? Because now I'm here. So just because we think things doesn't mean it necessarily comes. But with me, I'm very resilient in what I do. I leave jobs that are really well paying if I feel I should. And that's what I've done. My life has been quite chaotic and sometimes my own doing. But I always land on my own 2 feet, and I always stand by my convictions, and I never, ever regret a decision. That's the one thing with me. Other people will make excuses. Like, for instance, they'll try to validate something and they'll try pressuring me to see it this way and do this. And it's like, I can't, no. You're not, I beat to my own drum. I know you would sell out and do that. I can't do it. That's not a bad thing. I just can't do it. But it's hard for me to fully put it into words. It's a feeling I have in myself that I follow, and I always have. So if something's not right, I sort of listen to that feeling inside of me. And if something bothers me, then I realize the irritation will only expand. So if it's a problem now, I can only see it becoming bigger problem. Because like I said, I don't like to work in factory sort of situations. I don't want to get involved in all that. I just want to work on the warehouse side. And with this role, the warehouse side's very minimal, and it's not fit for purpose. It's too small. It's not managed properly, and it's a whole upheaval that's taking place in a very small space. That's not, again, you can't fit everything, and there's nowhere to move. So literally in one little space, it's like that's your work area for the whole period, and it's like, I like to be in a big warehouse. I like to be in things where I can just get on. But yeah, like I said, I've outgrown all that though, so it's so frustrating. I'd much rather my book sold, my audio book sold, and the people need my support and things, and I can actually thrive doing what I actually love doing. That'd be really nice for once in my life. So I do get bitter and frustrated. I am spiritual. I've got my tarot cards here. I do lean on spirit a lot. I do moan at spirit a lot. I've been kicking off recently, just saying how unfair it all is, to be totally honest. Like, my life has been an absolute heavy, chaotic mess that I don't think's fair. I've been doing my books. I've been doing on my spiritual journey for 5 years now. I think it's about time something happened in a positive way. Keep going backwards to go forwards makes absolutely no sense to me. I don't think it's fair. I often say to them, if anyone else did half of what I've done, they'd have been incredibly successful by now. Like, how does it make sense? Make it make sense. And I just seem to get challenged with I get more and more challenges put in front of me. Things either to test me or to just help me evolve so I can help other people. But like I say, when I have issues with some of these jobs, it's really hard to put it into words, even though I'm good at explaining things when it comes to these, because there's so many angles to it. It's not usually just one thing. It's a culmination of many factors. But ultimately, it comes down to how trapped I would feel in the role. Like, if you're not happy, how about... This is the question. Most people take the money, so whoever pays you the most. It's like, how much of your happiness will you forgo for money, though? If you're that miserable at work, how much money would you take? Because I would much rather be poor and happy than wealthy and miserable, and it's just the way I am. I can't. It's just I like my freedom. I have the options. I'd rather keep my options open. Effectively, if I took this role, for instance, again, nothing to say I won't. I haven't decided. I mean, I'm pretty much pushing towards not going, but we'll see how it goes, how I feel in the morning. If I feel an urge to go, then that's spirit nudging me. If I feel an urge to stay, then spirit's nudging me that way too. But if I take that role, it means that there's not much room to pursue anything else. Like, if another job come up, how would you go? You're already working all day. If something's better aligned for me, then I want to explore it. So it's like, financially, it's okay. It would pay my bills. So from that point of view, you could, again, I'd say most people would just suffer through. But then think about in a year's time, 2 years' time, and you suffered through. When do you ever free yourself? Had this problem at the last job I had. I worked for a major water utility company. We got paid very well, and I left that job, and everybody else stayed. And most of them were not happy. And the consensus amongst them was, it's too good money. I can't, this is money for life. And I said, yeah, but you're miserable today. You're going to be miserable for the rest of your life just because they're putting money in you, just because there's more money than the average job. That's crazy to me. So I was the only one that left. Now, I would say I'm the only one that had the guts to leave, but you could argue I'm the only one crazy enough to leave, however you want to look at it. But I do look at things like that. If I feel trapped today, I'm going to feel trapped for the rest of my life. Why would I want to feel like that? You see people that make brave decisions or crazy decisions, and they allow themselves room to maneuver and pursue things that interest them and find their happiness. And you'll find that one day maybe they get successful doing that, and they reach and find things they enjoy. And people will be jealous of that, thinking, oh, it's easy for you. I'm stuck here. It's like, no, no one's stuck. You keep yourself stuck. It's okay to struggle for money sometimes, even long periods if need be. It's part of the process. So what I'm going to do, I've already asked Spirit a few times. We'll see if they come up with the same answers again, because I've asked about each of these jobs. What does Spirit think about this job? What does Spirit think about this job? What does Spirit think about that job? What does this job? Now, there was a job I was interested in slightly, and it's shift work, and it's that one where you get the Fridays off. And Spirit keeps every time, I kid you not, twice I've had it now. I think it was the Nine of Wands and something else. I only say that because we may get it again. And that was pointing towards conflict or competition. And it's like, oh, that's great. You know, I don't need all this competition shit. I just want to go work and get the job done. The other one was coming across as the one I'm due to start. It was exhausting. It's going to drain you, pretty much drain your mind. And another one was more like you're going to work too hard and not get your money, not get your worth really for that. And then I said about something else, and then I got the Sun. And another time I had the Four of Wands with that. So I'm assuming something else is coming up after. But again, yeah. We can get these things wrong. I'm not here to say one way or another. I'm just sharing my process, my journey. I know people are going to think I'm absolutely insane at this point. Turning down opportunities that could really protect, like, financially just helps improve your life. So yeah, I get it. And believe me, it's not easy. Turning down money isn't easy, but it's just, there's no other alternative when it comes to happiness and peace and freedom, you know? So that's how I feel. And there's not much swaying that. So like I said, integrity and honor, being honorable is really important to me, but sometimes I think sometimes it comes at the sacrifice of our freedom, and it's like freedom isn't something I sacrifice. So I'm going to use my camera here to get rid of the book bit. Before I do that, it's just for transparency. So you can see I'm shuffling. I shouldn't really have to validate this side of my journey, but I like to have transparency, to be totally honest. So it's less about validation, more about transparency. So you can see what cards come out. As you can see, I'm shuffling. I haven't asked anything. And I'm not saying nothing would come out from not shuffling, but for the most part, it doesn't. Unless Spirit's got like something they just want to explain to me early on. So we're going to ask. I'll try and do it. I'm going to have to do it in my mind because I can't say it out loud because I don't want to give away the company names. Hopefully that will work with them because they obviously communicate. So I'm asking about the first job, the one for tomorrow. What do they think about me going there tomorrow? I had that earlier, actually. This time I've got the Ace of Wands. I didn't have that before. Oh, well, can we do that? That's a positive card, actually. That's like new beginnings. You'd argue creative new beginnings, but it's a new beginning. But also this as well, it's like seeking new opportunities. So actually, they're not looking at it bad. But sometimes I get slightly missed signals, so it gets a bit frustrating. So that's quite interesting because it goes slightly against what I said there. But that card did actually come out when I was confirming it last time. It's just the Ace of Wands brings it's a bit different, really. Now I'm asking about the other job where you get the Fridays off. What do they think of that job? Well, that just popped out. Oh, well, okay. So you got the Wheel of Fortune. So that's like cycles changing, but that's a really positive card as well. That's the one I tend to get leaning towards, but it gives competition with that. What we'd do a clarifier for each of these at the end, and maybe it'll give us a bit more perspective. So if I put it here, just so we can see maybe you can see the cards there a bit better. This is about the job a bit further away, where it's Monday to Friday, but it's late and all sorts of chaos. It's very oh, wow. These two cards, I kid you not, come out both times with the other one, the Monday one where you get the Fridays off. And now it's come out with that one. Whether they're mixing the position jobs up, I don't know at this point. But them two cards, literally, both. I've had them out 3 times now. But this previously was on that job, the Friday one. Now it's coming up with that one. I'm not sure if we sort of like getting mixed signals across the board here now with the roles because it's weird. Holy crap. I kid you not with this one. I just asked, what does Spirit think about me keep looking for another job, a different job? I had the Sun last time. When I confirmed it, I had the Karma, which I think is Judgment. But literally, I had the Sun. Before I did this reading, I think I've got a photo on my phone. Let me see if I can get that, because that'd be a good validation just to show people. literally, I've got the names on it, which is a bit of an issue. So I might have to try and zoom out. I'll try and zoom out so we can get a photo because I really want to show this just to show the connection to spirit source. Oh, where is it? Yeah. Oh, I didn't do the names. That's fine. So I'm changing the bed covers at the minute on my bedding. But I kid you not, you can see all the different cards that come out. And you actually see these two come out again, but that was for the other one. I don't know if it's going to come out on that camera. But you can see the sun on that. I don't know if I can do it. Let me try and do it here. You get a better camera here. The sun. You see that? Oh, it's not doing it. I don't know why. Oh, we can do it from the angle. But anyway, you can see that's purely... It's the same card. So that's what we've got. The card and the judgment card at the bottom there. And even these two cards. You see that at the... Oh, it's so annoying. It's blurry. It's just the way the focus is doing. It's too busy trying to focus on me. Let me hide behind it and it will focus in, I think. Yeah. Look, it's trying to focus on me. It's a good camera. You see those two? You come up on that as well. For the other one, though. We see that one. We've just got that, and we've literally just got the sun again. That is mad. They, you know, like I say, I try to open people to spirit, so you sort of can see the connection I have. Because if I get confused in my, well, I'm not even confused. I just want confirmation that I'm not going crazy. Sometimes, like, am I feeling this right? Is this like, what do you guys think? And then I'll ask spirit, like, literally, and it helps validate and it helps me make decisions sometimes because, like, I know what I need to do sometimes, but it'd be nice. But you don't want to make wrong. So you don't want to make the wrong decision. I don't want to do something that's going to make my life harder if it unnecessarily. If something's going to work out better than I assume, then great. But yeah, they just keep pointing towards something else. And I've got a feeling, to be totally honest, with this when they're saying keep looking for something else, I think they're talking about the breakthrough coming potentially with the work I do. Because it's about time. It's ridiculous at this point. I mean, how can I help people if I can't get anywhere with it? It doesn't make sense. It's like my ability to help people is being hindered here. Like my life should change. I should be successful, but by extension, I should be helping heal people, help people improve their lives. You know, so it doesn't make sense. Why put me in a warehouse? What's that going to do? What's stuffing me in a warehouse going to do for my journey? It's just stupid. It really is. But it pays your bills and it gives you some stability and some luxuries. Great. But these are superficial things. Like, come on, life's bigger than that. So really what I'm trying to show people is the connection to spirit, but also it's like have high values in your life. You don't just always take the first offer that comes your way and just get terrified that nothing else will come. I have no doubt. Like, for instance, I've been talking to family members about this situation, and it's like they're nervous and I'm not. You know, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because I just want things to work out and I'm sick and tired of waiting. But if you ask me, do I think no other offer will come by the end of next month, for instance? No, I'll have other offers. I'd have other offers. It's like I'm good at interviews. It's just getting the interview process. But it's really me trying to figure out exactly what role I want. The real problem is, let's say the end of April comes, if nothing's in place and I haven't been anywhere for that's every month £2,000 lost then, isn't it? And I've already lost a lot over time. So it's really frustrating. It's a lot of money on the line overall. And you can make a decision that backfires, of course, but I never really worry about that. I always feel like if I feel something in my heart and I feel really strong with it, I don't doubt it. I'm quite resilient like that, so I would never look and think. There was a job I had interview before I turned up and it just didn't feel right. I think it was like a produce place, but it did. I didn't get good vibes there, so I just thought, I'm not going home. So yeah, but it is what it is. I'm just looking to be happy, which kind of goes hand in hand with this one. You know, I'm asking, like, should I keep looking? And it's kind of pointing towards that, isn't it? You follow your happiness. You can have all these other temptations. Maybe this one will offer you, you know, there's a bit of conflict, a bit of competition. This one, yeah, it can bring about positive change. It's like there's an opportunity within that. This is like a brand new opportunity too, you know. But that one's been a bit conflicting because they weren't quite saying that before. So while we're here, actually, let's do this. I'm not sure they've got the cards the right way round, though, in all honesty. I know these ones are, but I think a couple of them are the wrong way round. So I'm just going to ask it out again. I'm going to say it out loud, actually. I'm going to pause it as I say it out loud because I don't know if I'm not sure if wires are getting crossed here. Told you. This time I said the name out loud, and I said, clarify me going to work at thingy. And then we got this. And I told you I've had the freaking 9 of swords with this one before. Like, it's exhausting and it's doing your head in. And literally we've got this one now. Put it behind me there, you can see it a bit clearer. It's just fun to zoom in on me all the time. Literally 10 of swords now. That's literally like killing you. It's like literally destroying you. So I don't know. I think those other 2 cards, for some reason, maybe there's a misunderstanding with that. But effectively, I think it's just going to be soul destroying, to be totally honest. And I can feel it is. And I'm saying that, like, when I'm trying to explain to other people, it's like, I don't think they get it. It's like, I know the position. I know how the day will unfold. And it's going to be one of those where 2 hours in, you want to go home. Like, who wants to feel like that at work? You just want to be able to get on, don't you? You don't want to keep looking at the time. That's how I feel that will go. It'll drive me nuts. Like, I can do bigger things than that. Well, let's do the next one then. That come out quite straight away, didn't it? I'm not sure if they come out upside down though. Well, the one where you finish at 3 o'clock on a Friday, you don't have Fridays to give you that one. So that's giving options. So you got the Wheel of Fortune and options. That's weird because that job actually comes with options on the shifts. There's 2 different patterns you can do. So that's quite interesting that they give options as well. None of these are pointing towards perfect, are they? Let's do the last one. Oh, straight out. Oh, I'm not sure some of these are upside down. You've got the world, completion of a cycle. On top of that defensive side, though, normally I'd put that down as a good thing, but I actually come out upside down, but I keep spinning them around, so I'm not sure. Because of the way these are, I would assume it would be upside down, to be honest, but I don't. I just see it as it's in the way. I think that role's just completely in the way. It's not appropriate for me, really, to be honest, when I think about the shifts, it's a bit too mad. So let's clarify the sun. Clarify, keep looking for something else. Clarify, keep looking for something else. Clarify the sun. Oh, wow. Got a few there. Don't normally do loads when it's like that, but we'll have a look. I don't know if you can see there, so we can't see them yet. We're off thingy. So Page of Wands, we're looking at, I always see that as an innocent. But it's like a novice. Page of Wands, it's like going after, it's like being a novice at something, you know, being free spirit. That's how I see that. Yeah, there's conflict. Competition, conflict. You have to fight. You have to fight. But look, Page of Pentacles. Oh, wow. And balance. Juggling. You've got balance. 2 of Pentacles. So it's like almost like that leap of faith, isn't it? With obviously you could argue that would be the Joker. But this one's more of an innocent thing. So I see this as that. It's like, yeah, because you've got there's always competition. You've got to fight your battles, stand your ground. But literally, if you can balance things, it brings rewards, doesn't it? So, am I any the wiser in the immediate decision making? No, because if you're thinking about finances, for instance, you're talking about money. I'm not clear where the money's coming from, and that becomes a bit of an issue, doesn't it? Because obviously, I want to make money. That's the whole point of applying for work. It's the reason I want to just go to work. I've got no problem working hard. It's that suffocating feeling that worries me, is that once you commit to something, you're not free to pursue anything else. That's really what's worrying me the most, because I know all these positions are temporary. I know they all have their issues, and I know I can do better. But sometimes it's like, what's available today? So as you apply for work and look for jobs, it's like, which ones are actually available today? And then you just want to grab them. So at least you've got some money coming in now, because kind of what we want. And that's where I'm up to. So it's like, which one of these out of this mess is any good? Like, which one of these is going to do you any good? And they've all got their own issues, you know? So it might be the job's really boring and mundane. It might be that the work pattern isn't very good. It might be the money isn't as good as the other ones. It could be a mirage of reasons as to why maybe pursue something else. But ultimately, it's like pursue our happiness, isn't it? Whatever that is to each of us. And I think you can't just keep living based on the material. It's just, that's not enough. At least it's not enough for me. Because I can't keep myself miserable. I just can't do it. I just can't make myself miserable for it, though. The pursuit of money. No. I can deal with the stress and burden of not having it. I can't deal with the misery of feeling like a trapped prisoner. And that's how I can't be. So I'm just looking for somewhere that aligns with me and it works. I've got no problem with that being in a warehouse, but I'm looking for something that matches me, I think. You know, some of these shift opportunities, they interest me, but they're really long. You know, to get the Friday off, for instance, you've literally got to do, I think it's 11 hours or 12 hours shifts. I can't remember the exact hours, but it was something close to that. It was like that 4 days, and then you got the Friday off. But then it was like, wait a minute, you're actually not going to have a life for 4 days a week because you're literally just working your ass off just to get the Friday off. That's literally what's happening. You're sacrificing those 4 days so you can have a day off. So effectively, 4 days are completely ruined. Like literally just work, sleep, work, sleep, work, sleep. Yeah, I get Friday off. And then you got the weekend off, of course. But then when you reflect upon that, you think, I know it's nearly half, but it's not. You've got 3 days of freedom and 4 days of hell. But why is life so unbalanced like that? Why have you got to give so much to something just to have the basic quality of life? Like literally, it doesn't. Like I said, my budget's 1,500. If a job pays 2,000, I've only got 500 spare a month. Now that's better than nothing, of course, but that's a lot of sacrifice. A lot of sacrifice, really, just to have a little bit extra, just to have a little bit for yourself every month. You know, and the rest is just to pay. Of course, we'll have bills to pay and responsibilities, but I think the way life is not quite fair. It's certainly not balanced. So what do we do about that? Sometimes you just got to take action for yourself and set high standards, I think, and just keep maybe behave in a way that's maybe unorthodox. Try and eke out a better life that maybe, because you know, I'm someone that watches people. I watch people settle, and I look at them and think, how happy are you settling? And they look damn right miserable and exhausted. And it's like, well, I don't want to feel like that. Oh, well, I'm shuffling. I've got the lovers. That's actually going to be beautiful. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I make some incredibly crazy decisions sometimes, and I'm aware I come across crazy. And like I said at the beginning, maybe I am. Maybe I am. And as good as I am at articulating some things, this is one of those that I can't 100% articulate because there's so many things that go through my head, and there's multiple reasons why I decide something. It's very rarely one little thing. It's a trigger of a multitude of things, and I pick up on every little nuance. So if there's a job description, for instance, and I look at it and I think about it, there's so many little things. Like that role I'm due to commence, for instance, you got to wear freaking hairnet, and you got to wear that hairnet around your face because you got stuff. Who wants to wear that all day? And then it's kind of like, because it's a small facility and it's dealing with production, I'm not sure the situation. Let's say you're really thirsty and you want to drink at work. What's the rules? Can I go and get a drink because I'm thirsty, or have I got to wait for my tea break? Because I'm not doing that. If I'm thirsty, I'll need a drink, you know, because you've got this face crap on. And literally, the place isn't fit for purpose. So how's that function? There's so many nuances to it. And there's inventory, apparently, the way it's managed is really poor as well. It's a whole long-winded process. And it's like, I don't need to get involved. I don't really need the hassle of all this. Now, again, we go to work to get paid, but of course, a lot of your top ways to get paid is at work. So you want work to be freaking sustainable. You don't want to have a headache, you know? Effectively, you end up... Again, I got... freaking hell, got the lovers again. All right, we're going to leave it there. I'm not going to keep rabbling on, but you can understand maybe a little bit there. We're getting the lovers, which is incredibly beautiful. You're getting the sun towards something else. And I mean, that's what I'm trying to show people, really. It's up to us to set that for ourselves. You know, I'm seeing patterns with this job coming up. They seem like better people, but the job itself seems a bit chaotic in the same way the job I left before. And I almost feel like I've been put in this situation to see whether I'll learn the lesson this time. Like, do you take on those roles when you know going into it, it's a mess? You know you're going to be unhappy, but someone's offering you money that makes you just know it can fill it can solve a lot of problems. But you know you're not going to be happy doing it. So what do you do? you know. And it's like, it seems a simple answer, doesn't it? Like, to most people, they just say, just do the job. To me, it's a simple answer is to say, well, that's not worth the suffering. But either way, we suffer, don't we? So it's like, what can you? I think when it comes down to it, is like, what could you cope with the most? Can you cope with financial hardship? Or can you cope with the, or can you cope with losing part of yourself, being miserable every day and exhausted through that misery? Because, you know, finances can pick up, new opportunities can come along, and there are ways just to get through in short bursts of periods. It actually builds experience, and through that experience, you get wisdom. So you know how to cope through hardships. It gets exhausting, believe me. But I just think if you want something great in this life, you're going to have to do something different to get it, personally. Otherwise, if you follow everybody else, you're just led down the same path. And I look at everybody else and I just think, God damn, they look exhausted, miserable, and unsatisfied. And it's like, why would I want to copy that? I want more for my life. I just want more for my life. And if it means I've got to do things the hard way and I've got to be a bit different, then I'm going to do a hard way and I'm going to be a bit different. And it's going to look chaotic for a while. And, you know, it is going to be unhinged, I guess. Maybe a little bit insecure. There'll be reason for people to criticize me and ridicule. I wouldn't necessarily say I'll have the last laugh in life, because I've no interest in proving anything to anyone. I have no interest in revenge in that way. It's more about, I'm just focused on my goals, my dreams, my aspirations. But they will see me successful one day if they watch me enough. So yeah, I'm confident in my path, frustrated in the circumstance, but I won't lower my expectations. I just hope one day things just start coming together a bit easier. Like I said, I've got no problem going warehouse as long as it's like settled. I want somewhere that's established. I want somewhere where its routine makes sense. I want something that's fair. They pay a fair wage and is reasonable. So like I say, for some of these other roles, it's like I'm looking, thinking, okay, maybe they do overtime, but look at how many hours you're working. They're all asking you to do maybe 10, 12-hour shifts. You know, and they're usually late shifts as well. And you're thinking, wait a minute, you're going to struggle for sleep with that. You finish so late or you start late. And it's like, why would you want to extend that any longer, you know? And then if you get your weekends free, I don't really want to, after such a long week, I don't really want to do this. So some of the jobs are actually making you do plenty of hours, whereas a normal job would consider part of that overtime. But it's a standard rate. So by the time you even get to the threshold of overtime, it's like I've already done loads. So that's frustrating, isn't it? I want somewhere where you can earn some overtime on top, really, if it ever comes down to it. And like I say, you could argue that it's a fine wage. Some of these they're okay wages. But the trouble is it enough? If there's no wiggle room, what can you do, you know? Anyway, I know this is slightly rambly. Bit maybe self-indulgent because talking about my journey, but I hope it helps people, which is the whole point of doing it in the first place. Being transparent, sharing how I go through life. Maybe it'll give people a bit of reassurance, really, that they're not the only one if they do anything similar. And it's okay to step out and do things a bit different. But no, it's hard though. It is exhausting because you just want life to improve sooner rather than later, you know? It don't always work like that.